6 points clear, Champions League semi-final, second leg in 3 days, and Bukayo Saka back like he never left. Welcome to James Arsenal Alliances. I'm James. If you are new here, hit subscribe right now, turn on the bell, and do not go anywhere, because tonight we are breaking down one of the most complete first-half performances Arsenal have produced all season. We are talking goals, tactics, individual brilliance, and the massive picture building around this football club right now. Like the video. If this is your go-to Arsenal channel, drop your thoughts in the comments below and stay with me until the very end, because I have a full tactical breakdown that I think is going to change how you see this Arsenal team going forward. Let us get into it. Arsenal 3, Fulham 0. May the 2nd, 2026, Emirates Stadium. And look, I have sat in this chair, and I have been honest with you, when performances have not been good enough, when the intensity has dropped, when this team has looked nervy and uncertain in big moments, I have called it out because that is what this channel is built on. Honesty, not hype. But tonight I am sitting here and I am smiling because what Arsenal produced in that first half was not just good. It was a statement. It was the kind of football that reminds you exactly why you fell in love with this club. The kind of football that makes the hairs on your arms stand up. The kind of football that makes you think, genuinely think, that something special is building here. 3 goals, all before half-time. Fulham had 0 shots on target. 0. Arsenal controlled 64% of the ball. And the manner of the goals, the movement, the combinations, the sheer confidence running through every single player on that pitch tonight, that is what I want to spend time talking about. But before we get deep into the tactics, let me just take a moment to acknowledge the context, because the context of this win is enormous. 4 days ago, Arsenal went to the Metropolitano Stadium in Madrid and drew 1-1 with Atletico Madrid in the Champions League semi-final first leg. Victor Gyokeres scored a penalty to put them ahead. Julian Alvarez equalised from the spot in the second half after a controversial VAR decision went against the Gunners. And then, deep in the game, Arsenal had a third penalty awarded. Eberechi Eze was brought down inside the box and VAR overturned it. The referee went to the monitor and changed his decision. Mikel Arteta was absolutely furious on that touchline, and rightfully so. But here is the thing. Arsenal came away from Spain with a draw. They have the second leg at the Emirates on Tuesday night. The tie is alive and is in their hands in front of their own supporters. That is the situation. And sandwiched between those 2 European 9, they had to come out and play a Premier League match against a Fulham side that had just beaten Aston Villa and was sitting comfortably in mid-table with absolutely nothing to lose. Marco Silva's side came here with freedom, no pressure, just a chance to cause an upset and disrupt Arsenal's title push, and Arsenal dismantled them before the half-time whistle. It's the mental strength of this squad. That is the character Mikel Arteta has built. Now, let me talk about how this game unfolded, because I want to give you the full picture. Arsenal was sharp from the very first minute. The intensity was there immediately. The pressing was coordinated, the movement was purposeful, and the ball was moving at a tempo that Fulham simply could not live with. The opening goal came in the 9th minute, and it had Bukayo Saka's fingerprints all over it. Let me paint the picture for you. Saka received the ball wide on the right. He was facing Raul Jimenez, the Fulham striker, tracking back to defend, and Saka just absolutely sat him down. One touch, cut inside, Jimenez is on the floor, and the cross is whipped into the box with precision and pace. Victor Gyokeres read the movement perfectly, got across his marker, and tapped in from close range. 9 minutes, 1-0 Arsenal. The Emirates erupted. And honestly, I got emotional watching it, because that goal had everything this Arsenal team is about when they are operating at their best. The individual quality of Saka, the intelligent movement of Gyokeres, the combination, the decisiveness, the clinical finish. It was all there in 9 seconds of football. Now, I want to talk about Gyokeres in detail, because what he is doing right now for this football club deserves its own chapter. When Arsenal signed him in the summer, there were questions. Not from me, I backed this signing from day one, but from others. Could he replicate his form in a different system? Could he be the focal point Arteta needed? Could he do it in the Premier League under the pressure of a title race? Ladies and gentlemen, Victor Gyokeres has answered every single one of those questions with authority. Tonight, he scored twice. He won and converted a penalty against Atletico Madrid 4 days ago. His hold-up play is at a level I genuinely did not anticipate this quickly. The way he held the ball brought others into play, pressed from the front, and then found Saka for the second goal was the kind of all-round centre-forward performance that this club has been searching for since the peak of Robin van Persie's powers at Arsenal. I am not saying that lightly. That is how good he has been. For the second Arsenal goal, the play was absolutely stunning. Gyokeres found space ahead of her, slipped a beautiful through ball to Gyokeres, and the Swede held it up brilliantly. Shielding from the defender, waited for Saka's run, and laid it off perfectly. Saka drove at the Fulham backline, got past the defender on the edge of the area, and fired low past Bernd Leno at the near post. 40 minutes, 2-0 Arsenal. That goal was a mirror image of everything Arteta wants. Speed of thought, forward momentum, precise combinations, and a striker who understands that sometimes the greatest contribution is the one that does not show on your personal goal tally. And then, right on the stroke of half-time, Leandro Trossard delivered one of the balls of the season. A perfectly weighted, lofted cross that picked out Gyokeres, arriving at the back post, and the big Swede looped a header over Leno. 3-0, all over before the break. 3-0 at half-time. On a night when Arsenal also had a goal disallowed for Riccardo Calafiori, who thought he had scored and hit the crossbar later in the game, the margin could genuinely have been 5 or 6. Now let me talk tactics, because this is where I think the really interesting story of tonight lies. Declan Rice played in the deepest midfield role again tonight, and I said it on this channel weeks ago, I believe we are watching the beginning of a permanent positional evolution for Rice. He is the Arsenal anchor, the conductor. He sat deep, he covered space, he sprayed passes, he made 45-metre switches that shifted play from one side of the pitch to the other in a heartbeat. He completed 83 passes against Atletico Madrid 4 days ago. Tonight, he was not far behind that number. When Rice plays as the base of the midfield, it unlocks everybody else. Odegaard gets freedom, AG gets freedom, the fullbacks push higher, the whole team stretches and breathes. And speaking of freedom, I need to talk about Myles Lewis-Skelly. This young man made his first Premier League start in the midfield tonight, not at left back, not in a hybrid role, but as a genuine central midfielder. And he was sensational. He was the best player on the pitch in the first half, alongside Gyokeres and Saka. And that is saying something, given the quality around him. The driving runs from deep were electric. Every time he received the ball, he looked to go forward. He was brave. He wanted the ball in tight spaces. His one-touch combinations with Rice and Eze were crisp, instinctive, and relentless. He looked like a player who has been starting in that position for 3 years, not 3 minutes. Myles Lewis-Skelly is 19 years old. He earned a 9 out of 10 tonight. Let that sink in. And then there is Bukayo Saka. I have spoken on this channel about how much Arsenal missed him during his injury absence. And I want to be direct with you. The level Saka played at tonight on his first start back against a physical Fulham defensive line was not just good. It was the Saka of his very best. The Saka who makes defenders look like they have never played the game. He was direct, he was fast, he was brave, and his delivery was immaculate. The cross for the opening goal, the movement to receive Gyokeres' pass for the second, the corner deliveries that had the Emirates crowd roaring. He was everywhere. He was on fire, and Arteta, to his credit, took him off at half-time and gave him a rest. No risk, no unnecessary minutes. Save him for Tuesday. That is the management of a coach who knows exactly what he is doing. Riccardo Calafiori deserves a mention too. He was unfortunate to have his header ruled out for offside early in the second half. The ball from Trossard to find him was genuinely exceptional. He also hit the crossbar. He was defensively solid throughout. He is the kind of left-sided centre-back who changes the architecture of the whole defensive line when he plays well, because he brings the ball forward and creates the extra man in midfield automatically. Eberechi Eze continued to show why Arsenal beating Tottenham to his signature in the summer was one of the most significant pieces of business they did. His through ball to Gyokeres for the chance where Leno made a fine save in the second half was exquisite. He sees things other players do not. His vision is at a level that belongs at the very top of European football. William Saliba was imperious, Gabriel was strong, Declan Rice was the heartbeat of everything. This was a team performance, full stop. Now let us zoom out and talk about the title race, because this is the moment that this channel exists for. Arsenal came into tonight having lost 2-1 to Manchester City at the Etihad on April 29th. That defeat had knocked them off the top of the Premier League for the first time since October. The momentum had shifted, the pressure was intense, the headlines were writing themselves, and Arsenal responded with a 3-0 demolition. They are now 6 points clear of Manchester City at the top of the Premier League with 76 points. City are on 70 points. But here is the detail that every Arsenal supporter needs to hold in their mind. Manchester City have 2 games in hand. 2 games. If they win both of those, they leapfrog Arsenal. So this is not finished, not by any stretch. But here is what Arsenal have done tonight. They have put the pressure back on City. They have sent an unmistakable signal. They have stood up when it mattered and delivered their best football of the season on a night when the weight of 2 competitions sat on their shoulders. Arsenal have 3 league games remaining after tonight. City have 5, including those 2 games in hand. The schedule will decide a great deal. Arsenal travel to West Ham next Sunday. That is the game being described as their toughest remaining fixture. City host Brentford at home the day before that, and they go to Everton, where their recent record is exceptional. This is going down to the wire, and I would not have it any other way. But here is what I will say, and I want you to hear this clearly. Arsenal deserve to be in this position. This squad, this manager, this club has gone through enormous adversity this season. The injury to Saka early in the season, the months without Odegaard, the questions about the striker position before Gyokeres arrived, and then before he hit full fitness, the political drama around the transfer window, the Champions League campaigns running in parallel with the league. They are still standing. They are still fighting. They are 6 points clear with 3 games to play. Now, let me give you the bigger picture, because this is Arsenal's season in 2 sentences. They are fighting for the Premier League title, and they are in the semi-final of the Champions League. The second leg against Atletico Madrid is this Tuesday at the Emirates. Arsenal drew 1-1 in Madrid, 2 penalties, 2 VAR controversies, a late decision overturned that had Arteta furious. But Arsenal came away with a result that means they have 1 foot in the final. If they can take care of business at home, the Emirates will be absolutely rocking on Tuesday night. The atmosphere will be something else. And Arsenal's home record this season has been extraordinary, conceding just 11 goals in 17 games at the Emirates in the league alone. If Arsenal reached the Champions League final, they would face either Bayern Munich or Paris Saint-Germain. That is the scale of what is possible. That is the level at which this football club is operating right now. And none of this happens without Mikel Arteta. I want to say something about Arteta that does not get said often enough on channels like this, because the noise around him, positive and negative, can sometimes obscure the reality. What he has built at Arsenal is a genuine footballing identity. His team has a defined style, a defined structure, a defined set of principles that every single player understands and can execute under pressure. Even the teenagers who come off the bench. Even the players who have only been in the building for 1 season. The substitution pattern tonight was a case study in squad management. Saka off at half-time, rested for Tuesday. Gyokeres withdrawn around the hour mark. Same reason. Rice given a breather. Zubimendi came on and did exactly what was needed. Simple, efficient, not putting a foot wrong. Madueke had lively moments and showed real directness. Even if the gap in quality between him and Saka was obvious to every set of eyes in the stadium. And then 16-year-old Max Daumann came on late in the game. 16 years old. He had a brilliant driving run at goal. Could not find the target. But the confidence and directness were impossible to ignore. This club has a pipeline of young talent that genuinely excites me. One more thing I need to address, and I will not dwell on it long, but I must mention Gabriel Jesus. The performance tonight from the Brazilian was deeply disappointing. He came on with the pressure off, with the game won, with space and freedom, and he was offside, he was losing the ball, and the effort levels were simply not there. That is a 9 out of 10 performance night from his teammates, and he comes on and produces a 2. I have a lot of respect for Gabriel Jesus and everything he gave this club before his injuries, but right now he is not the answer. The good news is, with Gyokeres in the form he is in, it does not matter. So where does this leave Arsenal? Top of the league, 6 points clear. Champions League semi-final, second leg at home in 3 days. FA season with genuine momentum behind it. Saka fit, Gyokeres on fire. A midfielder in Miles Lewis-Skelly, who looks like a future Arsenal captain. An anchor in Rice, who is becoming one of the great defensive midfielders this club has ever had. And a manager who knows exactly what this squad needs at every moment of every game. This is Arsenal's best chance of a league title since the Invincibles. I have said it before and I will keep saying it because I believe it to be true. They are not perfect. The City games in hand are real. West Ham away will be a real test. The Atletico second leg is a cauldron waiting to happen. But on this evening, on the 2nd of May 2026, Arsenal showed the Premier League exactly who they are. They are title contenders, they are Champions League contenders, and they are not going away. That is your full breakdown right here on James Arsenal Analysis. If you got value from this video, hit like right now. It genuinely helps this channel reach more Arsenal supporters. Subscribe if you are not already part of this family. Comment below with your player ratings from tonight. I want to hear your 9s and your 10s. I want to hear what you made of Lewis Skelly's performance. I want to know whether you believe this Arsenal team can win the title. Let us talk. Let us debate. That is what this channel is about. I am James. This is James Arsenal Analysis. We will see you Tuesday for the Atletico Madrid preview. And until then, come on you Gunners.